Hi there! If you want to learn the basics of R in a few hours, you're in the right place. My name is Barry and I'd like to briefly introduce myself before we get started. I studied geoecology at the University of Potsdam in Germany and became an R fan there. Would not have thought that beforehand. Some people consider me a bit of a fanatic. The t-shirts kind of give it away. I've been doing this for quite a while and been teaching in various formats, and I am loving it every single day. I write R packages, I train and consult, and I am active in the Berlin R user group. You can click on each of these logos for some more information. R itself is free and open source, which means it's wonderful. It has a big user community and lots of methods get implemented very quickly, and it will make your work efficient and productive, like any coding language. It's the standard for data analysis and visualization in a lot of universities and industries and places. So you're on the good wagon. To install R in Rstudio, you can follow the installation instructions that I have linked here, and they should help you get going. This course will have a wide but shallow introduction. We're not going to get to any deep understanding, but we'll get a lot of stuff done. We'll have brief inputs followed by short exercises to maximize your learning. We're going to be working in an IDE, Rstudio. It has several panels. One would be the scripts and the objects that you created in graphics, and then the actual console, the actual R, where things get executed and displayed. We'll get back to that in a little bit. If you want to send code from your script to R, you can use the buttons or keyboard shortcuts. For this course, you'll need a location and a data set, and you can follow these exercises, and at the end of that it should look a little bit like this. In our intro project, or whatever you choose to name it, with a couple of files open, you can click on them to open them if that doesn't start right away. And we will be looking at some data later on, so just so you've already seen it. And then you can send a single line with clicking the run button and you get the result. Or Control Enter will work just as well and more quickly, and you can click source or Control Shift Enter to run the entire script. Go ahead and also take a moment to read the comments here. And then it's time to actually get started in R. Do not look at this slide in your display yet. I have a little exercise at the beginning and again where you can just compute some things. You can do this directly in the console and hit enter at the end to actually run it. And go ahead and pause the video and do these things. We can just do the plus and times operator as we would expect. We need periods for decimal points, and we can chain operations, and then things like square root is done with the sqrt function. You use round brackets to call a function and put the input inside of the brackets. Normally you would have these things on individual lines of your script to save space on this slide and to show you once that I'm going to be doing this a few times. I put different commands behind each other separated by a semicolon. If we want to create objects, we're going to use the smaller than a minus symbol, and we don't have to type that ourselves. In Rstudio, we can just press Alt and minus, and it will generate that with the spaces around it to make it all look nice. We could do something like n students is going to be 15. And then we can have a look at n students and then do further computations with that, like check is it actually bigger than 12. Let me briefly show you this in real life for a moment. We are back in Rstudio, and if we do not want to see these previous things, with Control L we can clear the console. So you can do n students and Alt minus and then the 67 or however many people are watching right now, and then we can look at it with n students. We don't have to type it. Rstudio has autocomplete, and with arrow up get back to a previous command, and we can do things like is it less than 56, and it will say no, it's actually more than that. We will be creating objects in a script like this all the time, and so it's a good idea to use good object names. Maybe you want to pause and think about what would be good. The thing is, it should be short but explanatory. And there are two naming conventions: lower camel standard with the first letters uppercase, except for the first one. I don't know who came up with it, but it's common, or underscores, and those work fine. And then we have comments. Everything that is after hashtag is ignored when you run lines in R. Alright, see you back in the next video on reading data.